Good morning once again from South Sudan. I'm happy to be here today. My name is Otieno. As I put it in my intro video, I'm a project management expert, humanitarian worker, and a country director working in South Sudan. I've been in the humanitarian world for the last 15 years or thereabout, and still there. Now, the webinar that we're supposed to look at today is looking at the importance of education as education as an important tool in a competitive world. I know all of you are now seated in a classroom, probably wondering whether the education that you're taking right now will propel you to a better future. Some might be having their doubts, and as I said, we've lived in a society where we've been made that there are people who have succeeded in life without having gone through a classroom. And that is partially true. But the question that comes about is, are they successful because they never entered into a classroom? Did they become successful because they were street smart, or there are other aspects that contributed to that? One thing that most people don't tell you is that these people did not succeed in life, did not fail school because they didn't want to. Circumstances forced them not to go to school. Some were not able to go to school because their parents could not afford the cost of education. Some were not able to go to school because of other circumstances, probably war in their countries and things like that. And the other thing they also don't tell you is that while these people established their companies, started with small investments, when the companies grew, they spent so much of their time hiring the best brains in the world. Now, if these same people did not believe that education was an important aspect, why did they not continue hiring people who have not gone to school? Why did they spend so much resources hiring the best brains, people from Yale, people from Harvard? Why do they go looking for those people? That tells you that there's something that they know on the importance of education to become successful in life. The other thing that you also need to ask yourself, if you look at the most successful people in your countries, the people who have the best houses, the people who have the best businesses, name it, everything. One thing that you also realize is that they also spend so much money taking their kids to the best school. If indeed education was not an important aspect, why spend so much money taking their children to attend best schools in the world? It is because they believe that their kids need an opportunity to be the best. And to be the best, the kids have to get the best in education. I want us to look at a few things where I think education plays an important role. You look at different aspects. We then can now delve into them deeply and see how best they turn education to a better thing. Now, I want us to first look at employment. All of you are seated there right now because once you finish school, you want to access employment. People like me and other people who recruit nowadays, we don't have time to go through long resumes. So what we do, because technology has developed, there are things we call robots that are now doing recruitment. So basically what they do, we put your CV and keywords into these robots, then they pick people they think fit the criteria that we look into. One of the key things that we say, like I would say that I want someone with a master's degree. So immediately the robot realizes that you don't have that qualification, it cuts you out. Okay? So it means that without education, even the nearest you can get to an employment is a robot, which will even deny you that opportunity to get an opportunity to sit on a table and discuss your qualifications with someone who wants to recruit you. So yes, one of the key and most important tools to access employment is education. Without education, you don't stand that chance. One thing that I tell myself is that, and someone will tell you this, that with education, you have somewhere to start. With education, you might not be able to do everything, but at least you can do something. Without education, you have nowhere to start. It becomes very difficult, especially in the competitive world. Companies are looking for the best, and the best they get in education. Yes, education is a key aspect, but experience comes in. But first, you need that education to be complemented with that experience. The other aspect of education that I also want you to look at is how education is looked at in terms of a country's development. The best and the countries that have developed the best in the world look for the best brains. The best brains come from education. You find someone who has studied maybe, let's say, something in technology that a country requires. Someone who has something in infrastructure. You can only get that by passing through a system that gives you the opportunity to learn those techniques. So a country is evaluated based on the number of people it has passed through technical schools or through education. A country then is evaluated on how best those people can turn that country's economy to what makes it a developed country. So again, as a country, for you to be determined whether you are developed or not, you also need to have some level of education. I know, the other argument that will be brought forward is that not necessarily education. We have everybody moving to China because of cheap labor, because the population there is quite a lot. But one thing that you also need to realize is that as much as there's cheap labor, those people who are working in those factories are guided with people who have understood the technology. Those people who have understood the technology have had to go some level of education. So yes, they might be having cheap labor. They might be having people who necessarily have not gone to school who are working in those factories, but those people are working under the guidance of people who have gone to school. Okay? Education at household level. Our studies and research have found that households where people have gone to school, parents have gone to school, stand better chance, not only in terms of better life, but also in terms of ensuring the health of their children. In a family where a mother has gone to school, the mother understands that for my child to have a better growth, for my child to have a better future, I have to make sure that this child has access to better food. I have to make sure that I know how to manage diseases that can affect this child. I also have to make sure that this child needs education for the child to have a better future. You cannot have that in a house where both parents or both parents have not gone to school. That's why you realize that a household where people have not gone to school, even the quality of life in that household is not desirable. So even at a household level, you need some level of education for the family to flourish. And then the other thing that I also want to talk about in terms of education is gender equality and equity. Now, for a very long time, especially women, in most setups, Africa included, probably even India, women were never got opportunity to go to school previously. And this made it very difficult for women to compete for jobs. And most times women were kept at home, in other places to be trained to be good wives. So a woman was taught that your work is just to stay home, take care of the children, cook. But things have changed. Women now have access to education. And what has happened? Women now are coming out as leaders. Look at some of the best banks in the world. Recently, IMF was being led by a woman. That means that women now have a situation where they can sit in the same leadership table as men. They are competing for that. Women now have access to education. Women now are rivaling men in various aspects, in political leadership. One of the best leaders that we ever had was Angela Merkel, the leader in Germany. Before, women had never had such opportunity, but now women can be presidents, and they are doing it even better than men can do it. So education has been able to raise the profile of women. Women now can sit in tables where decisions are being made and compete for jobs like men would do. Finally, because I didn't want to take so much time, education also improves governance in a country. Now, you've noticed that in the recent past, communities and even people in countries have learned that they need to participate to make their lives better in a country. Not only in political arenas, not only in leadership and all that. And because of that improved understanding of how things need to be governed, people are now putting governments at checks. You realize that governments cannot now do things the way they used to do. Yes, there's some parts of the world where dictatorship still prevails. Slowly by slowly, things are changing. People are understanding their rights. This is because people have been exposed. People have gone to school. They have education now. They know what is right and what is wrong. So they're even making governments to make decisions that not only benefit the political elite, but the community at large. So what I want to state is, as I finish, that education is a very important aspect in life. With education, people can open doors. Let nobody cheat you. I come from a country where I've also been made previously that to understand that the people who have succeeded by selling charcoal, they never got that education. But as I've told you, the same people now look for the best brains to run their businesses. So education is an important tool. Where you sit today, take whatever you are learning seriously, because you need it in the future. People who employ you for the best. Okay, and the best can only come from a competitive approach where you place what you have on the table. If someone comes with a degree and you come empty-handed, hoping that you are going to get the same privilege, it's not going to happen. I will come for the person I believe will raise the profile of the organization that I lead. So education remains a very important aspect, and what you need to do is concentrating on what you are doing. One thing that you also need to realize is that as I said, with education, there's a place that you can start. Without it, you don't stand a better chance. So take heart. I know sometimes it comes with difficulties, but never give up, because that future that you desire can only come from you having that education. Thank you. Unless there's anybody with a question or something, I'm here. You can ask right now, or if there's nothing, then I think we can call it. I don't want to take so much of the time. I also know that you guys have lessons to attend. But finally, also, let me also mention this. Sometimes you confuse education and learning. Your professors, you can go to a certain level of education. People have PhDs, but your professors will tell you, education, yes, you can reach the epitome of your level in education, but learning is a continuous process. Learning transcends beyond classroom. We learn every day. As a country director, I learn things every day. You cannot finish learning. Education, you can reach a certain level. You say that, okay, in my level, I've reached this. But your professors will tell you that things come, technology come, new things come, and they continue learning. So learning never stops. Education reaches a point where you can say that I've reached where I wanted, but learning is a continuous process. Thank you very much.